I'm kind of out of it still. It was a long night. I did not get much sleep.
You didn't, huh?
No. I kind of ate some food that doesn't sit well and woke up ready to puke several times and nothing came out. So I had just still stomach pains the entire morning.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Did you
Not fun.
did you get some Pepto-Bismol or something or what?
No. Just dealt with it. Don't have any of that stuff. So
Are you gonna be good to roll with episode 63.5?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
All right,
Just tired.
let's do that.
Okay.
It's time to hit the trail, lock in those hubs, and throw it into low range. Because you are listening to Wheelin' with Keith and Johnny Orange, broadcasting from the Thin Line Off-Road Studio. They're here to talk about 4x4s, trucks, and everything to do with enjoying the great outdoors. Buckle up. Here's your hosts, Keith and Johnny Orange.
So we have a ghost in the studio. I mean, you can clearly hear them walking somewhere.
Yeah, this just sounds like, I tell you what, the new studio, when we get that thing done out there, it's going to have so much padding or whatnot, or nobody else in the building when we record.
Or that.
So it's been a while. How you been, man?
Exhausted. New job and other job are kind of clashing, and one day's, days off from the main job are kind of taken up by days of the second job, and it's been really busy.
It's been a big adjustment to you, I know, to go from being unemployed to working a part-time job, huh?
Oh, full-time.
Part-time.
40 hours a week.
You're terrible at math.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. 40 hours a week is how many hours a day are you working?
9 something or other.
Are you doing five? Are you doing five?
In 4 days, I'm doing 40 hours. So
you're doing 4 10s.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And then
how many hours are in a day?
24.
Okay. What's half of 24?
12.
So you're working less than half a day.
True.
So you're working part-time right now.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
But then my weekend job is I'm away from home with all of that out in the sun. Yeah, I'm on a boat, but I'm dealing with sunlight and watching, having to watch everybody, make sure they're all safe doing their diving thing and all that.
You get no sympathy from me.
No, I know.
I'm just saying because, for the last year I've been working like 60 hours plus a week, 70 hours, and you're always like, oh, okay, well, you're good to podcast, right? We're going to do this. And, now you're working 40, and I'm like, you're good to podcast. And you're like, oh, man, I got to wait till a week I have off.
Well, no, it's the scheduling. I work 11 to 8:30 4 days a week.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I'm down to come down and do it after, but I'm not going to get here till like 9:30.
I mean, I could make it happen if we had to do just, one episode a week again or however we do it. But
we want to do that. We can.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Well, listeners, we need to give you a little bit of a
catch up.
Catch up and a disclaimer. So first of all, we've been off for about 3 weeks.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
We attempted about 2 weeks ago to do a Facebook Live only video, which the video quality was pretty dark. And then on top of that, the audio quality was way quiet.
And I remember towards the end of the video got real jerky because I was slapping mosquitoes every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's my apology.
We did it outside in the driveway of the Wheelin' studio, basically. Of course, we do this out of a home, and we were working on some cars and trucks out there, and we thought it'd be something different to try.
I thought it went pretty cool. But
we actually had a great conversation about we did a review of an aftermarket brake system. You can still watch it. It's still up on our Wheelin' page on Facebook. But, forewarning, unless you have really good ears or you can really crank the speakers on your phone or your desktop computer or something like that, you're not going to hear it very well because it is very, very quiet.
Not my fault.
No.
Producer Andrew
This had nothing to do with Andrew, the producer.
You weren't in there, so...
I'll record it on a cell phone that was duct taped to a tripod.
Yeah. Well, that was part of the problem. I took, in the middle of this last 3 weeks, I took my annual family vacation for almost a week. Andrew, a different week, took vacation out to the East Coast.
Yep.
And, you are adjusting to
Severe
working
scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
been interesting. But what do you want to do? You want to do kind of a quick recap of 63 just to give our
We
listeners.
probably should do it some fair justice, because I know that that nice little award you got over there kind of tied in with that whole event, or that whole night.
Yeah, it really did. So that night, was that the night that we actually had the breakdown and everything?
Yeah, that we had to plug the vacuum hose with a 40 caliber bullet.
Oh, yeah.
I'm amazed that fit so perfectly. That was awesome.
So, what John's talking about there, folks, is I have mentioned on the show a couple of times that I have a 55 Chevy Bel Air. It was my first car, purchased when I was 15 years old. I've had it all these years. It's been in dry storage for about 20 years now. And as I've mentioned before, I have become a member of the Scroungers Worldwide Car Club. And I wanted to get back into the car scene as well as the truck scene that I'm in. Got the 55 going again. We did a disc brake conversion, power brake conversion to the car for modern traffic. Some modern wheels and tires. Well, semi-vintage actually, kind of like an 80s style, but more modern than 55.
Yeah.
And John and I did a big test drive. We also had a special guest, John Freeman, the president of Michigan Scroungers. Unfortunately, like I said, the audio quality is not very good there, but it's worth a quick watch if you want to. I think it's about a 35-minute video or something like that.
I don't even think it's that long.
No?
I thought it was pretty short. But
Okay.
Yeah, went for an awesome test drive afterwards.
Well, yeah, we were trying. So this was a thrash fest on a Friday night, trying to get to the Pied Piper 2020 car show put on by the Hood Rats Detroit down in Warren. And I really wanted to get to that show. I heard it was just an absolute blast last year. A lot of rockabilly type stuff. They had the rockabilly band, barbecue. They had all sorts of entertainment there. And it was a free show, completely free,
Nice.
And just a real nice smattering of cars. Well, anyways, like you said, it was interesting. We took it for a test drive, and so we made it to the next town north. This is about, I don't know, what, 10:30 at night, something like that?
Thereabouts, a
Yeah.
little later maybe.
And we're driving up to the next town north. We're about 8 miles away, kind of doing a shakedown run of the car. First time the car's really been on the road, out of town in 20 years. And the car started braking itself right there on the bridge.
Braking as in brakes catching, not as in falling apart.
Yeah, yeah. So that was part of the trick of the so-called bolt-on brake kit for the 55 that was not truly a bolt-on kit. It took some modification to make it work.
Yeah.
And I had the adjustment rod for the power brake booster a little bit too long, and it caused the front brakes to just hang up. And so we pulled over into a gas station and got out to adjust the brakes, even though we didn't have any tools with us. Bad on us to shakedown run, no tool bag.
Yeah, we had a knife and a gun.
Well, hey, it works, right?
Yeah.
And so what John's
the
talking
gun
about
came in handy.
Well, the original idea was to disconnect the brake booster and hope that we could just kind of push through it, which seemed like it was going to work, but we needed something to plug off the vacuum line to the brake booster. John put a 40 caliber bullet in it.
Yeah, it fit perfect. I mean, it was a perfectly snug fit. It was surprising. I'm not going to lie.
We ended up not driving it like that because I called my boy as we were sitting there. It was spitting antifreeze out the grill.
Oh, yeah.
And so called him up and I said, hey, Preston, bring me a 1/2-inch wrench, a 9/16 wrench, and an egg.
I so vividly remember you going, yes, an egg. Mm-hmm. Not a hard-boiled egg, just a regular egg.
It's a regular egg, yep. Always wanted to try the old MacGyver
As
trick,
did I.
eggs in the radiator, and much to our surprise, it worked.
Yep.
we put an egg in the radiator, it plugged up the hole, we were able
Yep.
to adjust the brakes and get back to home, back at...
Is that ghost again?
yeah, there's the ghost. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, anyways.
Well, we were able to get back there. We got it all the way back. And, then the next morning, which you were not privy to.
No.
But there we go.
That was a bad time to turn around. What the hell, man?
Which you were not privy to. John got a hold of me, John Freeman, not you, John.
No.
And he said, hey, I made some calls last night, early this morning, and a mutual friend of ours in the Scroungers Club has got a radiator for the car.
That's awesome.
I says, great. He says, I'm going to run over and grab it to you. I'll bring it over. So we slapped the radiator in the car, and it leaks worse than the one that was in it.
I didn't hear that part.
So he calls up because the guy had said, hey, give me $30 if it works, you know. Mm-hmm. So he calls, and plus it was the wrong radiator for the car. It was a 57 radiator, which will work in a 55, but it was a V8 style radiator.
Gotcha.
And my car is set up with a 6-cylinder radiator, even though it has a V8 in it.
Yeah.
I needed the 6-cylinder style radiator.
Gotcha.
And so he calls up and he says, hey, man, sorry, the radiator didn't work. And mutual friend, Dennis, he says, oh, you know, I got another buddy just down the road from you guys that might have something. So he calls him and calls us back, and he goes, yeah, he's got a radiator sitting on the shelf. So
Nice.
we drive over there. This is like 9:30 in the morning. We drive over. Sure enough, this guy's got a 57 6-cylinder radiator in darn near mint condition.
Nice.
Guy's name is Steve. Great guy. We talked to him a little bit about the podcast and what we do with the museum and all that. Mm-hmm. And he goes, hey, just take the radiator. I said, let me give you something. Let me buy you dinner or something. No. He says, you might have something in the future I need. He goes, just take it. So he just gives me the radiator for the car. Came back, slapped the radiator in the 55, and zoomed all the way down to the Pied Piper show.
Nice.
Got there just as everybody was rolling in.
Nice.
And about 150 cars showed up.
Oh, wow.
It was a great time.
Nice.
And they heard through myself and John, we were just talking to some of the club members about our Thrash Fest, and the club ended up deciding they picked my car for club choice.
Cool.
For the car, and that's why I got that award sitting over there with the piston, and it says Hood Rats on it. And,
That's awesome.
yeah, so that was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
That is awesome.
Episode 63, we talked about, I know we talked about John and the Scroungers and things like that. We also did that product review of the 55
brake system.
Brake system, which was made, I don't remember now actually, so maybe we shouldn't go into a product review right now. I don't remember who made that now. It was basically a generic eBay kit.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was through I remember now. The seller is not Motor City. I think it was like Motor Town Customs or something like that, or something like that. Well, anyways, if you go into eBay and you look for 55 Chevy disc brake kit, this thing will pop up. It's a complete bolt-on kit, supposedly. There was a couple things. One of the brake lines that came with the kit, I don't even know what it's supposed to be for. It doesn't even remotely fit the car.
Yeah, it's possibly got the wrong one in the kit or something.
I taled to another guy that bought the same kit, and he had the same issue.
Oh, gotcha. So,
the brake booster, the studs are too long on it. You got to cut the studs on it. Mm-hmm. And like I said before, that rod that goes to the brake pedal is like 2.5 inches too long. You got to trim that down too.
Yeah, that's what a lot of those kits are designed for, stuff like that, though. A little bit of adjustment to make it work, or they just give you that to adjust it for what you need.
Yeah.
So I've seen that in some of the Hydro Boost conversions that they make for the Jeeps. It's the same thing. It gives you a generic set, and then you cut to fit. So.
Well, but don't advertise it as a full-on bolt-on kit.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Now, same thing. The front brake hoses. Said you could just put them in the stock mounts on the 55 frame. Mm-hmm. The hole to go through with a clip for the brake hose is give or take about 1/8 of an inch too small. Had to hog out the holes a little bit, get her in there. I mean, all minor stuff for a car guy.
Oh yeah.
And then just a slight annoyance with the kit. They do not say when you buy it online, there's no disclaimer whatsoever that the design of the kit requires an alignment after putting it on.
Oh.
Because it mounts the caliper brackets to the back side of the spindle behind the steering arm. So it actually moves the steering arms inboard 5/8 of an inch on either side.
Oof.
So it ends up throwing your toe way off on the car.
Yeah.
You got to redo that. And
it's irritating.
and that has been a challenge in the last 2 weeks.
Oh.
Well, I set it with a tape measure as best I can, like I do when I build a truck.
Yeah.
You've ever done that? Well, you and I have done that together, the toe on a axle.
A couple times.
Yeah. But I wanted to do a full-on caster camber, like real, because it's real alignment on this thing.
Yeah.
Went to the local alignment place. Guy's like, oh yeah, no problem. I've got all the specs in the computer for a 55 Chevy, no problem. Blah blah blah. Bring the car down there. He looks at it and he goes, "Oh no, that's not going to work with those wheels you got on it." I said, "What do you mean it's not going to work with those wheels?" He goes, "They're too wide in the rear. I can't get my my computer
Oh, yeah.
eyeball device." And I said, "Oh, okay." I says, "I'll go home and I'll put the stock wheels back on it." So I rush home. Pit crew thing, he's going to be closing in 45 minutes. Swap
Yeah.
out all 4 wheels and tires real quick. Drive back. And he goes to put it on, and he still was like 3/4 of an inch. He's like, "Oh,
Bummer.
it's not going to work, man." So then I drive over to another place in town. He's got the exact same machine
Yep.
as that guy. Third place, same thing. I have yet to find someone semi-locally. They all have this same brand of computer machine that requires them going off the rear wheels.
Yep.
I need someone with an old-fashioned alignment rack. The old school ones. I know one guy, but he's backed up like 2 months right now.
Oof.
And
I don't know if anyone is any of my contacts all came to us for alignments when I was at the dealer.
I may
And-
just end up buying an old one on Marketplace or something.
Oh, I'm sure they're out there.
Oh, they are. I've seen them on there before. Full-on old school analog alignment racks, right $900.
That's not too bad.
But then, you got to store the thing. It's a
Yeah.
drive-on thing, so I got to put it outside for now until the
Oh,
barn's done.
yeah.
And I don't really want an alignment rack in my shop that takes up that much space.
yeah, it can. Yeah,
So I don't know. I'll find somebody that can do it, but I'm going to wait until after I do a few more modifications to the front
Yeah.
end. I think I'm going to put some different upper control arms and stuff on it.
nice.
And
That works.
get the steering geometry a little bit different for more modern speeds and all that.
that works. That works. So when are you gonna lift it?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, if I was going to build a gasser, that's kind of what they did. They solid axled those things, back in the day, and they,
Liking where this is going?
I'm not doing it with that car, but
Oh.
another
Put
one.
a transfer case in it, and then start to have some fun with it.
Every once in a while, I get this idea in my head, and I doubt I'd ever do it to this car, but I get this idea in my head that building an all-wheel drive 55 Chevy would be interesting.
That would be sweet.
Use like Olds Bravada front subframe or maybe a Chevy Trailblazer, something that's all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Weld the front frame onto that. I've seen that done once with an Olds Cutlass, where the guy had a like a 600 horse LS6 in it. Yeah, and he could do 4-wheel burnouts in the Cutlass.
See, that would be awesome. I'd love to see that done to an old car like that.
Yeah,
I love the originality and the uniqueness of an old car being original, but just something like that, think like a sleeper style.
Yeah.
But 4x4 and just a crap ton of power.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be awesome.
That's something I've thought too for a work van for my work. I've always liked the old Chevy Astros.
Yeah.
And they made an all-wheel drive version of the Chevy Astro. What a lot of people don't realize is you can swap out the all-wheel drive transfer case out of those for a full-time transfer case out of an S10. Bolts right in.
Nice.
And now you got a 4-wheel drive Astro, bolt
Nice.
together, very little modifications.
I know a guy who did that with, I think it was an E350 van. Mm-hmm. 4-wheel drive and built the crap out of the engine.
Well, that's not a factory 4-wheel drive, but yeah,
No,
it's a swap like a Quigley or something we've talked about before.
you're looking at this until you hear it fire up, you wouldn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, the idea of doing that with the Commando, putting the supercharger in there, and then just build the engine up. It kind of sleeper style, like I said.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
I was going to send you a link the other day. I saw something on Marketplace. Someone was selling one of those vintage McCullough belt-driven superchargers. They wanted
nice.
$300 for it or something like that.
Not bad.
No, probably needs a rebuild, but I mean, it
Yeah.
was. That's what I told you before. You had to mount one of those in the front of the engine.
That's one that looks like a turbo charger.
Yeah, they
right?
look like
Okay,
turbo,
yeah.
but they've got a belt drive. But they're
Yeah.
not. They're not good for like a lot of boost. But
No, this is only a few PSI boost kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not. Well, depending what I do to it.
sure.
I want to max this engine out. I want to do as much as I possibly can to this block. So it's not going to be cheap. I know that.
Well,
but
there you go.
I said I got a buddy of mine who listens. He used to build race engines. Talked to him about it. He's going to give me a hand when I get to that point. So I'm really excited to start that project, but I got so much other crap to finish first.
Yeah, how's the old XJ coming along?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did it get scrapped?
No, I haven't had any time to even look at it twice. But I have everything for the radio for it now. Well, I had to order the mount cage from some guy in the UK, and that's still sitting at customs in Florida.
You're driving the TJ though.
So, oh yeah. I didn't today just because I want to put gas in I borrowed my dad's car for the weekend, so I want to put some gas in it, fill it up for him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but I've been driving that every day to work. everything's going really well with that. So
Nice
having suspension again.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, catching up on a few things as well. I'm not sure if we mentioned it or how much we mentioned it on episode 62. Well, no, we did. I told you that Stephanie had put a deposit down on a Land Rover LR3.
Yep.
She now has it, drives it daily.
Nice. Do you ever figure out what cactus mode is? It's my only question.
Apparently it's for desert off-roading or something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
So this thing's got this selectable transfer case, got 5 or 6 different modes on it. And of course, it's got the air suspension that lifts and lowers the vehicle.
That's cool to see.
It is cool. It is cool.
Yeah.
We've only had 1 issue or 2 issues with it in 3 weeks of ownership, so that's not a great track record. But the first one, we had a coil go out on it, which is apparently pretty common on those. Got that fixed pretty quickly. And there is a definite brake vibration. I believe it's got warped rotors. We just went online last night and ordered up the rotors and brake pads for it because they were super cheap for it, really. I think the ceramic coated, like, really nice ones were like $79 for the whole kit or something. So
that's not bad.
No, so we ordered that up, and
you did from that American braking company that drilled slaughter rotors and all that?
We didn't go with the drilled and slaughtered ones just because those were like twice the price. But, we did.
There's a place my dad found them once.
Can't remember what it was.
Well, it's not quite the same. Okay. But no, it was like $300 for front and rear pads and rotors, all ceramic pads, drilled and slotted rotors, all made in the U.S. It was really good quality stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we did 3 or 4 pad slaps on them before the rotors finally got to be junk.
Gotcha.
I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah, that's what I put on the 55 was the drilled and slotted rotors.
Yeah,
I did that. I don't know where they were made. It didn't even say on them. So, I mean, they could have been made in China, could have been made here, Mexico. I don't know. And then, but yeah, and the ones for the Rover, like I said, I don't know where those were coming from either. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what the quality is. We did take it up north, though, last weekend when we went on our vacation, and did a little bit of, I wouldn't say 2-tracking, we did some dirt road running with it a little bit.
Nice.
I took the kids out one day, and we did a game that we play sometimes where you flip a penny, you go left or right, depending on heads or tails.
Huh.
And so we were just doing this random adventure through northern Michigan.
Nice.
And did some back roading with it, and it handled very nicely. It
Nice.
was what I'm most impressed with is how the thing with the air suspension handles washboard roads.
Oh.
You hit those washboard roads and it just kind of floats over them. It like levels and just as you're going along.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So I'm pretty impressed.
Nothing
with that.
I drive does that.
Oh no,
It's bye fillings.
In fact, I drove the 55 to work the other day down to Detroit, doing 85 miles an hour on the freeway.
Nice.
And I have no rear shock absorbers and
I forgot about that.
blown out front shock absorbers. And
Yeah.
man, when I hit bumps on the freeway, that was a little hairy.
Yeah. That.
Plus, I don't have an alignment on it right now either.
Yeah, so it's pulling every which way, I imagine.
Yeah, I think unless it's an absolute emergency, that thing's getting only driven around town right now. 60
Yeah.
miles an hour tops.
That's kind of what I had to do with the Jeep for a while there. Is it just, I didn't want to crunch that oil pan into the axle again. So it was local stuff, 20 miles or less. But it's fixed now, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, man, I tell you what, we've done kind of a catch-up deal. I think this is a good catch-up episode for our listeners. Maybe let's touch on a little bit of news real quick, and then we'll roll off into the next episode. But
Sounds good.
the news-wise, Wheels in the Woods 2020 is on for sure.
Excellent.
I don't know that we've announced that on the podcast yet or not.
I don't remember. Everything's
But-
kind of a blur from the last, 2 months.
Yeah, that's going to be in Clay Township, Michigan, and it is October 10th. You'll be on the grounds about 10 a.m. Now, for our listeners who are in Michigan, be aware that, we're fully acknowledging that there is various restrictions on gathering sizes and things like that. Now, we believe that we are going to be okay by October to have essentially an unlimited size for the show. If we are not, we're going to have kind of a tentative plan. We might turn it into a cruise or something, but no matter what, we are doing something on October 10th. We're doing Wheels in the Woods is the plan, but if for some reason we're not allowed to all gather in the same spot, then this might be a car show on wheels or something.
Change on the fly.
We'll
keep everybody updated, of course, as news develops. We'll keep you updated.
Yep. And best place to go for that is there's an event page on Facebook. Just type in Wheels in the Woods 2020.
Yeah.
Wheels in the Woods 2020 is going to have all the information, up-to-date information on there. And that's where we're going to continue with that. But and then what I was really happy about, our sponsor. So being that we only had a couple months to prepare this year because we weren't sure a few months ago whether or not we were going to do wheels.
Yep.
Due to the whole Rona thing. We didn't really push out there for sponsors. We didn't hit the trail trying to find people, to raise money for the show. So made a couple quick phone calls and said, hey, to our sponsors from last year, hey, last minute thing, but I need an answer now because I got to get the awards in. Who would like to sponsor some awards this year? And I was blown away. My brother, Codette's True Value, took 20 of the awards.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Immediately. And then Michigan Specialty Coatings and Michigan Specialty Coatings Electrical Division, I think is what you call it, or MSC Electrical. They are the same, two companies under the same header.
Yeah.
They took the other 20.
Oh, cool.
And so we originally were going to do about 35 awards this year because we're inviting the cars and the cars as well.
I was say, did we ever announce that to them?
I'm not sure that we did. So why don't you talk about that for a second, John?
So basically, we're opening this up to everybody.
It's an all-vehicle show.
There's a lot of car shows that got canceled this year, and rather than leave all those folks that love doing that kind of thing out in the cold, we're welcoming everybody with open arms to ours.
Absolutely. And we have awards for you.
Yeah.
So,
so it's not just to show up and be there. It's a show up and still have a chance to win something.
Exactly. And we're going to have, so we're still going to have 35 awards that are judged by the public. And then we have 5 awards that can be won through our trivia contest or through the Kids Power Wheel contest or through the RC car contest.
Nice.
And so those are all events that you can win an award in as well. There's 5 other awards there. So in total, there'll be 40 awards. And I
love it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have rat rods, customs, lead sleds, 4x4s, mud boggers, bikes. Heck, you want to trailer your boat? We don't have any boat awards this year, but
I haven't thought about that.
You want to bring a boat? Bring a boat.
That would be interesting.
I'd say
it's off road, so
I'd say you could drive up the creek that is behind the Wheels in the Woods property, and with as much rain as we've had the last couple of days, it might work.
Possible.
It might be possible. Yeah, but no guarantees there.
Yeah.
So. But all vehicle show, and come on out, folks. Like John said, we are opening it to everyone this year, and I don't know if this will be an annual thing or if it'll be this year only, but
we'll try it out, see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Which reminds me, we got that next board meeting coming up for that.
Yeah,
so we might have some more news and announcements after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, I think this has been a good one. We've kind of caught up on the news and everything going on, and why don't you do your thing, buddy?
It's been so long. See if I can remember this.
All right, here I'll give you some prompts. If they want to find more, if they want to talk to us, where's the best place to do that?
I mean, you can call us.
Okay, and John's number is.
If you go on Facebook.com/groups/4x4talk, or just type in 4x4talk 4x4 in your search bar, you can find our page. Ask any questions you have. A lot of interactive posts, people posting pictures of their builds and stuff. That's the easiest way to reach us. If you would like access to more specialty content that we do have the after show called The End of the Trail. You can access that at patreon.com/wheelinradio. Lowest $2 a month, get access to a lot of bonus content, which we need to update that one too. Other than that, of course, a huge thank you to Mr. Andrew, the producer. Without him, none of this would be possible, and you wouldn't get to have to hear our voice, once a week and all that. So,
absolutely.
Maybe some of you blame him for that. I don't know, but
yeah.
Other than that, just a big thank you to everybody who listens, continues to follow us, and have a good one, everybody.